Do you feel that you're leaning forward and slouching more every day, ending up having a bad posture? Do you struggle reaching and grabbing your ankle behind you, or just not comfortable doing this? Or you know how to stretch, but you lost your interest because it seems like it doesn't work for you? And maybe you wonder, am I too young to look and moving old with my slouching posture? If you haven't watched my intro to posture, I highly suggest you to check it out first. Whatever you want to accomplish with stretching, if it is not measurable, it is just common sense that you are less likely to be successful to your objective. So it is necessary that you have an effective and easy way to know where you stand to begin with. Today, I will share to you exactly which muscle to target and emphasize to restore and improve your postural joint alignment. With no further ado, let's dive into our first muscle of discussion. As a muscle group, you can call this hip flexors or hip joint flexors to be exact. These are muscles around the hip joint. Its job is to simply move your thigh forward as opposed to hamstring, which moves your thigh backward. But in particular, that one muscle that contributes to the amount of range of motion that influence your posture is no other than the psoas major muscle. Where is your psoas major muscle? And why it is a muscle of concern for poor posture? Though most of the hip flexor muscles ends to attach to the fold of your thigh and trunk, exceptionally, the psoas major muscle crosses the fold of your groin and travels further up to attach to the lumbar spine, just located deep and behind your belly button. So it is no-brainer that the psoas major muscle has the huge advantage to pull your upper trunk forward compared to other hip flexor muscles, which contributes to the leaning or slouching forward. To identify and to palpate this muscle to where it is attached and located would not be easy because this is considered a deep muscle. The best way to recognize and experience its end-to-end attachment is to imagine how you do a funky chicken moves in breakdancing. As shown here in slow motion, as you pull and move your leg back, the lower back simultaneously follows by arching, or what you call in medical term, hyperextension. This is a phenomenon. This happens with a reason, and it's not a skill that is learned by doing this break dancing move. Hyperextension is an exaggerated curve of the lower back spine from its natural or neutral position. Before we continue, allow me to ask you a question. Your time is valuable. Do you agree? Simply understanding your target muscle that you want to stretch could save you a lot of time. With your knowledge of the muscle, attachment, and orientation, you have more advantage to be precise with your stretching skills. I know where you are coming from. Since you made it this far, I assume that you have a poor posture and probably getting worse. Improving your conscious awareness and using all your resources will greatly change the way your body moves. Hence, I suggest watching this video till the end. And subscribe and click like now if this is your first time to watch my channel. And please share this to your friends and loved ones. So as I'm saying, in conclusion to our topic, another common example is the bow pose in yoga, aka Dhanurasana. If you are just a beginner and your body has a poor flexibility, you will highly intentionally accentuate your lower back curve, thinking that showing off your curve is ideal to show off the shape of your buttocks as well. That is not the case whatsoever. Biomechanically, what happened is, to give way to the tight and short psoas major muscle, your body will freely adjust or compensate to the applied pulling force that is happening from the lower end attachment of your psoas muscle. Unless you are actually holding on to your neutral lumbar curve by simultaneously contracting your core muscle, most people doesn't know that your body likes to cheat. And the best way to cheat is to let your lower back to relax and fully give in to the pull and move forward, resulting to increased lumbar spinal curve. With these two examples, more or less you have the idea where your psoas major muscle specifically is attached, or what you call its origin and insertion. So how does this muscle influence and change your posture? Ideally and normally, you have an S-shaped oriented spine if you observe your spine at the side of your body. Without this neutral curve, that everyday impact that produce compression and forces as you move will not be efficient and effective enough to protect you from overtime wear and tear. The pull of gravity is constantly acting. Consider this a part of the equation beside your biological aging process. The curve of your spine is actually acting as a shock absorber or shock dumper, much like a mechanical hydraulic device that dissipate the vibration of your car or your body. Shortening and tightness of your psoas major muscle alter the neutral position of your spine, making it ineffective to absorb the shock and forces coming from your feet up. How to effectively stretch the psoas major muscle? Now that you know where the psoas major muscle and how it is attached to the body, and also the simple biomechanics of your body's ability to adjust, next is how you can apply your stretch properly and accurately. Since you know that it moves and increases the curve of your lower back, holding your core will be the best approach to stretch its length. Most people doesn't know that when you apply any soft stretch, your body always seek and adjust to the direction of comfort. Meaning your lower back arching as you stretch is actually a behavior of your body to cheat. Remember, your body favors the least resistance when you are moving. Beside that, as your body takes away most of the stretch applied, you're also missing that specific segment of the psoas major muscle where most shortening adaptation is happening, which is the upper attachment. Since this ending ties and divides to 5 points of bony projection and to other structure like the vertebral body and also the disc, hence it is harder to stretch at this upper end with its multiple origin compared to the lower attachment. Therefore, strict stabilization is crucial to effectively lengthen this part of the segment. That attachment is deep and close to the level of your belly button. Think about braided rope compared to a rope that is just made with a single strand. What is ideal range of motion for psoas major muscle? Typically, the most basic test for psoas major length is a passive test where you lie down with legs off the edge. Psoas major muscle length assessment. Number 1. Start by sitting with feet off the ground. Number 2, while seated, grab one of your thigh with your two hands. Number 3, lift and pull your thigh up to your body. Number 4, begin to lie down on your back while still holding your thigh against your body. Ideal, lying flat on your back with your test leg in the same position. It is a short quads, lying flat on your back with lower test leg going up and forward. Short hip flexors, lying flat on your back with testing thigh floating and off the table or hyperextension of the lower back. Your psoas major muscle crosses your center of gravity, which makes the level of your hip as the foundation of balance. If a building is leaning like the Pisa of Italy, fixing the top wouldn't make any difference. Do you agree? Same with your body. Fixing your neck or shoulder if the psoas major muscle is shorter than ideal would make no long-term difference. What exactly the best position to stretch the psoas major muscle? Combine the following approach to optimize your stretch. Number 1, stabilizing the neutral position of your lower back by engaging the core muscles. Going beyond neutral position like posterior tilting of your hip would intensify the accuracy of your stretch. Number 2 is limiting the tilting motion of the hip during the stretch by strict stabilization of your legs when your lower legs are strictly in place in a split position hip. Hip will be more stable to stretch one side of the psoas major compared to the parallel position. In this video, I am using a hydraulic table that is capable of tilting on both ends. This will specifically put you at the current level of joint range of motion, while comfortably executing your required stretch technique. The tilt or the angle of the table is just suffice to put my legs at its maximum but tolerable pre-stretch position. Realize that I am more or less flexible than most men but not too flexible to do a full split. This range of motion might probably not your standard to begin with. With my thigh apart and away each other, the whole hip bone is strictly stable in this manner. By adding core stabilization, you complete the best position to self-stretch your psoas major muscle. I tried this. It did not work. If this happens to you, then you need a more professional guidance to reach your goal. You see, there are more to it than meets the eye. Just by copying a stretch exercise might help you, but it really doesn't work for everyone. With personalized one-on-one stretch coaching, you will learn more than just lengthening your muscle or your soft tissue. You will learn that it is also important that you know how to optimize self-relaxation in order for you to be safe and successful with your self-stretch. In addition, you will learn how to properly stabilize areas in your body to fully make use of each stretch execution without wasting your precious time, even if you think you are the tightest and the most inflexible person. There's always a room for improvement and more chances for you to reach your flexibility potential. Leave a message below and say yes if you are serious and committed to improve and maintain your postural health. I offer virtual coaching for those who believe that improving joint range of motion and stretch is your solution for promoting better quality of life.